Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are live again with another Friday night. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are live again with I do it every time, yeah. I have my own Twitch feed out. But yeah, we're back with another Friday Night Magic from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. Running just a little bit behind, which I guess is inevitable at this shop, but as you can see, we're currently what turned out to be an inadvertent Goblins mirror match in the first round. We've got Corey Dusenbury on the left and Joseph Deal on the right. This is going to be, I'm going to try my best to keep track of live totals this week, but you can only do so much, right?
It's a little sketchy to do that. I mean, it requires a lot of effort.
Yeah. So Corey won the die roll. He started off with an arsonist. Joseph attempts to cheat.
Is that a command? It's a good command.
Yeah, it's a command, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear him talking to himself.
Yeah, there's now that you, other than you and Vickers, there's no one who's more aware of the fact that there's a camera in play than Joseph Deal. I think I've made a slight mistake. I don't think he's.
Is that a Chandler's Phoenix?
I think he's
this
more.
Be burned?
I think he's more like this.
That could be bad for Joseph.
Well, it's not going to be good.
I was wondering why the board presence was really in Joseph's favor if they were both playing Goblins.
Well, he passed on 2 and didn't do anything, but...
Which you wouldn't do if you were playing Goblins anyway, because you have a plethora of 2-drops.
What was it play? It plays the War Driver and it plays the Krinko's Command, right? But he plays Shrines, doesn't he?
Shrines what beats me every time.
Well, Shrine's the best card in the deck, but... I think it's 1918. It's tough to keep up with that.
Well, especially when people go quickly. It's
yeah. If you bring your big D20 next week, I'll send you a reminder. Or if JB would just stock them, I would buy them from them.
Right.
That's a piece of advice to all shop owners out there. If you have products, I will buy them from you.
Well, I mean, some kind of item like that would appeal to anybody, not just us. So.
No, it's specifically for people who've decided they want to waste their Friday nights by making magic streams for no one to watch.
It was very tough not to play today.
Well, I mean, there's Krinko.
Do you think he's going to live, though, against the burn deck?
Well...
If it does, it's over.
He shouldn't, but... Whether or not I can't see what's in his hand.
He's got a lot of land.
I can't see what's in his hand. Is it Reverberate?
Main deck?
Yeah, he untaps with him, so he's up against it. If there's I don't figure there'd be a chieftain in his hand, or he would have played it on 3, but...
Maybe he drew one. They both had a lot of land out.
Mm-hmm. And Joseph specifically before playing tonight said he wished he had more land in his deck.
Tough round. I know he had the Caverns tonight, which was a...
Yeah.
So he's got a pretty pimp Goblin deck with the Caverns and the Bonfires. I don't know how I feel about Bonfire and Goblins.
I don't like it, but...
I see it strictly as like a win more or clear the path kind of thing, which you don't
If you ever draw it, it's the worst. Yeah, it's the worst ever. You never cast it.
He should be attacking.
There he is.
Is that Chieftain?
Yeah.
Okay, well... should win. This should be it.
It makes 7 tokens. They're all 2/2s. They all have haste. He already has 5 on board.
It's 24.
You know how much that equals?
27, 28 with 2 dudes in it.
It equals enough.
It doesn't matter. It's over 18.
Yeah. If he gets to attack with them, it's. I mean, he could incinerate or bolt or whatever the chieftain before attacks, but...
I mean, yeah, it saves him a little bit.
It saves him from dying. It saves him literally everything.
Well, a turn. I mean, you still got to deal with the 12 tokens.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it's riveting mono-red sideboard action.
I don't know what's in Joe. I'm familiar with Joseph's deck to a certain extent, but I don't know exactly what he has in there. I think he has things like Arc Trail, which would probably be the most pertinent in this matchup.
Because, I mean, you could 2-for-1 the Phoenixes and the 1-drops.
Yeah.
But we don't know what's in the other guy's deck either.
I know there are 5 mountains. I know there's a Chandra's Phoenix and an Arsonist. He must have just not drawn anything worth note off the top. But well, while they're shuffling up, I would like to remind everyone that tonight, at some point later on, we'll be giving away what will hopefully be a reoccurring giveaway.
Really?
Every week, I'd like to give away my 3 favorite Magic cards.
Okay.
From Unglued. You know, Max, how do you start your Magic games? Do you roll dice?
I do.
Do you flip a coin?
I mostly roll dice.
What
sometimes.
is this? What is this? 1986?
Kinda.
You're living in the past. You should start your way. You should start your games the way it was meant to be started, with Wizards of the Coast version of Rock Paper Scissors. Each week we'll be giving away a play set of Rock Paper Scissors. You see on your screen there from Unglued. It's a fun little way to start a match in a casual format. Although I have used those at a Legacy Grand Prix on day 2.
Ooh, how'd that go over?
Well, it's here's the biggest thing you need to know about it. People always say, well, Zach, you can have them marked. You could know what the cards are, so you could always pick the right one. Well, the key is you just put them on the table and let your opponent pick. Pick for you and pick for them. So there's no kind of cohesion.
Right.
There's no way of gaming that system. It's just simply fun. So a little bit later on, probably in round 2, we'll tweet out something at my Twitter handle, which is Zach Sells Magic. And then all you have to do is be following me and retweet that. You'll be entered for a chance to win.
I need to follow you, apparently.
Well, not just you. Everyone does.
I don't have the fancy phone, though, that does the Twitter. Was this a mulligan on Joseph's behalf?
I literally have no idea because I covered the screen with my nonsensical rock, paper, scissors giveaway.
I feel like it's a mulligan because Corey has a hand now, so it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if Joseph wasn't.
What I'm afraid is going to happen here is we're going to be done with this round. And last week, we had 4 rounds of Swiss and all 3 rounds of the top 8 because they decided to play it all out, including the finals, which was the Wright brothers, who live in the same house, who could have just stayed in Taze Valley and saved themselves the travel. And they share a collection. So all of the prizes and all it was just for bragging.
It was internet bragging.
I was here till 1 in the morning, and every game went to game 3. Even the ones that didn't were pretty short. But
I'm pretty sure that was when I made an ass of myself by thinking you had 50 viewers.
Yes, there is some debate amongst if that icon means total views, lifetime, or people watching.
I believe it means total views.
Well, back to the game. Corey led off with no turn 1 play, and then followed up with a turn 2. Is that a Drake hatchling, or what is that? That's the one you can pump, right?
I think so.
And there's turn 2 coming in. Turn 3 Chieftain, turn 4 Krinko is the nuts, right?
Yeah, if that's what occurs here, I think it's all over. But we don't know. We haven't seen much from Corey's deck, so hopefully we'll get a little more action.
Yeah.
The Fire Slinger?
Fire Slinger, and he's attacking for 2. Because that one's 0-1 flying, pumps for 2, right? I literally don't know what that card is. Do you know what it's called? It's not gonna solve the world's problems if you remember it right off the top of your head just now.
I'm pretty sure it's some form of
Hey, he's tapping 3 mana.
Well played.
Well, we're living the dream here.
We're on Chieftain? Up. And that seems nice.
I know this is a dumb question, but I'm just going to ask anyway. The Chieftain is just goblins you control, right?
Yes.
Aren't some of the older goblins? He took it all, didn't he?
I think Goblin King might be like the old Elvish Lord.
Yeah, it isn't like a Gym Palm Incinerator. It's just the number of goblins on the field, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I know that the
Pretty sure that is, because I know in the old Legacy Goblins versus Zoo games, they would side out the Goblin guides because it powers up the Shocking the Chieftain, which seems like the best possible play.
Yeah, hopefully.
I imagine if he hadn't tapped out, I bet he wishes nothing more than if he only pumped for 1 last turn, because he could have saved himself all that damage. But
that's assuming he didn't top deck the Shock. But you never know.
I do know.
If he keeps Krinko, we'll be like,
I don't think he has a 4th land. He has a Spike Shot Elder in his hand, I can see that. And he's getting in with the expendable Goblin tokens.
Is that guy not an 0-2? Or is no 1 that pumps?
So I think he pinged him at the end of turn for 1 and 8-10 himself. Or 8-2, down to 10.
So he didn't play anything. But he's got 3 mana up? That's a volley.
That's an Incinerate in his hand, isn't it?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're waved out. That's a 10th edition or something.
Yeah. He's just gonna ping him there for 1 at the end of his turn. I mean, unless Corey does something proactive, he's just gonna get beat. He's losing this race.
It's a Fire Slinger on Fire Slinger.
It's a game he can't win.
another shock.
He's going to shock that. Well, he's going to shock that. Well, that's the play. You got to shock that. Yeah, and then he's going to incinerate the...
Did he not ping him?
I don't think he did. He's just going to take the 2.
Why would he not ping there?
16. Yeah, he's at 1. It's probably not worth writing it down.
It's really hard to beat double Goblin grenades.
Yeah, double Goblin grenade is the... Well, that's the best part of playing Goblins, I think. Goblins is not really that good anymore, simply because there's so many better aggressive creatures that it's difficult to...
Well, it's got a really good mana base. And
yeah, it's not by any means
would you like to find us another match?
Yeah, why don't we...
I'm sure lots of people are just now finishing game 1.
Yeah, why don't you... Well, hold on just a second. We'll take a quick break. But first, I wanted to go through briefly and run through the advertisements.
Absolutely.
Because it would be a disservice if we didn't at least mention the fact that we are sitting here in beautiful Lost Legion Games and Comics, South Charleston, West Virginia.
It's a great location.
It's a wonderful location. Directly behind the mound, which no one will know unless you live in South Charleston, West Virginia. But they don't have just the one store. They have 4 stores in the greater West Virginia area. Is it Princeton,
Beckley,
South Charleston, and the new one in Parkersburg was just opened, which is just on I-77 right before the Ohio border.
Yes.
Only about not even 2 hours to Columbus, so well within driving. Actually, Charleston is well within driving distance to Columbus, Cincinnati, Blacksburg, Morgantown.
We used to have
Pittsburgh.
some great Grand Prix trial PTQs downtown.
Yeah, we haven't had any in a while, but that doesn't. I honestly think that'll probably change here shortly. But Grand Prix trials, PTQs, and more importantly, Lost Legion will be hosting this year's state tournament.
Really?
Well, they are not hosting. They are organizing. So we're still looking for a venue, I guess, because that's Star City normally run it, but I guess they've decided that they don't want to do it. And unfortunately, we're scrambling a little bit for a location. But anyway, that's where we are tonight. Friday Night Magic as usual, and the stream will be live every week, or at least every week that I'm here, starting at 6:30 thereabouts. That's the time it's supposed to start.
Yeah.
If it ever starts at 6:30, we should owe everyone a sizable amount of money. And then secondary to that, before we go out and try to find a second game, I do want to mention that not just specific to Lost Legion, but tomorrow Wizards is sponsoring Magic Celebration. Did you play in that last year, Max?
No, I didn't get to.
Actually, it's a ton of fun.
I'm very excited.
Here's what you need to know about Magic to play in that event. Absolutely nothing.
How do I open a pack?
It does. You open. Yeah. Can you open a cellophane wrapper on a pack of Magic cards? Because that's the only skills you need to bring. It is literally free to anyone to enjoy. Last year we didn't have enough people. Well, we had enough people, but we had they sent enough product for I don't know how many people. So we actually ran 2 mini master tournaments.
Wow.
So you come, you show up. Worst case scenario, you get 1 or 2 packs. You win some games, you get some more packs. It's a great opportunity to teach people how to play Magic. It's super non-competitive.
Pretty sure it's free too.
It's free. The only thing better than a free tournament is a free tournament you don't have to pay for. So
exactly.
That starts here tomorrow at noon, and then there are locations all around the country. Just go to Wizards website and check it out.
If you ever thought about playing Magic,
find a location. It's a perfect kind of thing to bring your significant other to, your kids, your parents, your uncle's cousin's nephew's brother.
Well, I mean, it's a great introduction. Like, hey, I've never played Magic. I've seen some kids play it. I don't feel like buying something. You just walk in and get a pack.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
There's literally, if you don't have anything better to do on a Saturday, and we're here on Friday night, so Lord knows we don't have anything better to do tomorrow, then come right back and get free stuff. If you like free stuff, if you like imaginary wizard fights, if you like dragons, if you like comic book shops,
it's all me.
Tomorrow is your day. But again, that's free tomorrow. Go to the Wizards website to find a spot near you. I guarantee you it will be worth your while.
Very much so.
Why don't we take a brief break here while we go out and try to find another match that we can stick under here, because Joseph, you won too quick.
Yeah, why'd you do that? You're supposed to be up at least 40 minutes of time.
We'll take a quick break here, and then see if we can find somebody. Alright. We have found another match conveniently. The match directly next to them was just finished game 2.
So we're on game 3?
We are on game 3.
We gotta watch the decider. This is, I won Friday.
What's Brandon's last name? I don't know. Brandon Hart, right? And he is playing, he called it Black, Red, White Reanimator. I'm just going to call it Frights.
Call it what the world knows about.
Yeah. Keep going. Can you step out there and tell them to hold on just a second?
They're getting ahead of us. Old Jace's fault for not taking all day to win. Why couldn't you play like 5-color control where it takes like 45 minutes to win a game?
Because I don't know 5-color control.
I had it built.
No, that was like Grixis, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
They're
put
fine
some
now.
other colors in it.
Because they're on mulligans, I think. Alright. Forgive our low tech.
Did Hunter ever acquire Restoration Angels?
He did that last week too. Only 26. Okay? So 26 minutes, Joseph, are left now. It's been 7-10 minutes since it. 36.
You won in 9 minutes. Give or take.
There's 40-minute rounds. We do play 40-minute rounds here, simply because. Well, that's an interesting. Actually, it's not interesting, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. We used to play 4 rounds of FNM. No top 8, prizes awarded based on standings.
That was rough.
Well, you know what it was very good for? Being out of the shop by 10 o'clock every night.
Yeah. But you had to go like 3:01 or 4:0.
Mm-hmm. But then, I don't know, was it like 9 months ago? There was I wouldn't say a revolt or uprising, but there was enough banter that they decided to run a top 8. And then they quickly turned into a 5-round. Well, it started at 3 rounds, then 4 rounds, then we got to 5. I mean, which is a good thing. That means there's more people coming to play FNM.
We're expanding.
But also means poor JB gets out of here at like 1:30 in the morning.
Well, it's the ins and outs of running a card shop.
Exactly, but and that's an interesting thing too. Do you know how many people we have tonight? I can count.
Not very many.
20 even. 20 even. But I was thinking about this earlier. You got a dying standard format. It's going to rotate in like less than a month.
Right.
More M13 core sets aren't nearly as exciting as block sets. Plus, more importantly, school has started again.
It's true.
So the college crews have left town, or a lot of people are.
We're noticeably missing the Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers aren't here.
Our world's not complete.
Mm-hmm. There are 2 people watching this.
It's pretty good.
I'm going to shut that down.
Who was commentating last week? They were talking on the stream.
Was there someone talking on the stream?
Yeah.
It was you and.
Oh, you mean who was doing the commentary in here?
No. So no.
There was somebody chatting?
Twitch, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see any of that.
Oh.
Did that happen?
Yeah. There was somebody asking me questions.
Next week.
I was there. I was logged in, but I wasn't typing.
Next week, I will bring another laptop and set it up because I don't want to.
I can bring Ambers.
These are all things that we can. I mean, for this being the second week right out of the box, I think we're doing all right.
We need to cover this match.
We probably do need to talk about this match. I think Brandon has cast not 1 but 2 Faithless Lootings, and it took Hunter until turn 2 to have an untapped green source so he could play his Birds of Paradise.
So this should be Faithless Looting number 3?
Probably.
Yeah, I feel good. I called that.
Do you see what's in his bin?
A Doom Blade?
Norn is now.
Well, that's good against Aggro.
He was very, very decisive about the Norn going.
The second one, though.
Norn and an O-Ring. I don't know.
Dumping the O-Ring.
O-Ring is very good against.
Must have some good stuff.
Yeah.
If he plays a Knight here, he's going to wish he has an O-Ring. Or does he have another O-Ring? He has a Doomblade in his hand, doesn't he? Oh, he has a Liliana.
He dumped a Doomblade.
He has no black mana. I probably would have got rid of the Liliana.
He's greedy.
Although, I would like to point out that I don't know anything about Magic. I mean, can we factor that in?
I know a little bit, so together we know like 10%.
Here's another thing that's fun. At least one person, I'm not going to mention their name, gave me a deck list so that if they're under the camera, I know exactly what's in their 75.
I thought about it, but...
It's very convenient.
It is.
But we saw Hunter play last week, and his deck is basically just green-white good stuff. Mana Accelerants, Blade Splicers, Heroes, I don't know if he's playing Mirror Crusaders or not, but he's playing equipment. It's an equipment-based deck.
We should be playing Mirror Crusaders then. See it for somebody.
Oh, yeah. So now that Max is gone, we know altogether 5% about Magic.
Oh, that's why he got rid of the O-ring. It's because he has a Day of Judgment. Because Day of Judgment behaves like 3 O-rings. I still don't know if I'd get rid of it. If I just had 2 mountains and a basic plains, I don't think I would hold on to Liliana at this point. Green Sun for 2 is a Strangleroot Geist. Oh, is he playing Dungrove Elders too? No, he's not playing Dungrove, is he?
Not with all those non-basics.
That's what I thought, but I mean, I don't know what that card was I saw. That is a black mana, and Hunter at this point should just pray that there's an Unburial Rites. I don't think there's one in his bin, but
he probably would have pitched it if the choice.
I don't think I saw one in the bin, so at least he's safe there. He's on the commentary tonight. You're a competitor,
right,
so you got to give up the seat.
I was going to let him sit.
Yeah, he told me to sit.
Oh well, then I stand corrected then.
I wasn't going to commit.
Well, that's a good.
I wasn't going to throw my weight around and muscle him. I didn't know if that's high school wrestling.
While you were gone, we figured out why he threw the O-ring away.
Okay.
That's because he had a Day of Judgment in his hand.
Oh, well, that's a better O-ring.
Yeah, he then Hunter went for the Green Sun for 2 for the Strangleroot, to which Brandon got a pretty good Faithless Looting that involved flashing it back and having enough mana to play the Lingering Souls that he found with it. So, but I don't think he has a lot of business in his hand. He has the Liliana. There's not a.
This is one swamp, doesn't it?
There's not a Rites in the graveyard. He drew the Swamp last turn, so I don't know. But this Rites is like awful to play against, especially with the aggro deck, because all it takes, once they get to 5 mana, you're just like, all right, now I just have to hope and pray.
Nothing happens.
Because I mean, Hunter's draw has been very slow here. His entire board state just gets wiped out by that Norn.
You have to put Frights on the back foot, like starting turn 2 or 1.
Oh, what's the life total? There hasn't been any damage in the 2, right? He took 2 off the Strangleroot guys, right?
Yeah.
I was not here for that kind of action.
Yeah, he Green Sun for it while Brandon was tapped out because he had played the day.
That seems good.
Yeah.
He's got
He does have Township, but it's not good. Well,
there's double block. Oh, the card's so good.
He's gonna
it's not going to be good in a month, though.
It's going to be very good in a month.
You're going to run around all those stupid Luxodon 4/4s.
Oh,
Well, there's that guy, and then there's the Abrupt Decay. That's going to hit Liliana, too. But I still think she's going to be good.
She's still good. There's counters to everything. See, you just got O-ringed. I don't have to wait for a month for O-ring to be good.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I actually don't know nothing.
We only claim 10%.
Is O-ring in? This is going to be a dumb question. Is O-ring in 2013?
Yeah.
O-ring is like my favorite Magic card in terms of design. It's like a perfect answer to everything, but it's temporary, so it's super fair. And you can play around the timing. You can respond to the spell, or you can respond to the trigger. You can totally host somebody.
It's really in flavor for white, too. It's kind of like, you're putting them in jail for a little bit or something.
Yes, it's very thematic as well, as you said. That's what I look for in the game.
I prefer the Lorwyn art, personally.
You would. Lorwyn art is weird.
The Kithkins. It's all about the Kithkins.
No, I don't want to see the Kithkin getting roughed up. I don't want to see him in oblivion.
Just like the Merfolk Pond here. Because it's got pretty colors.
What happened there? Oh, he tried to Rancor Doomblade in response?
That's what it looks like.
And that doesn't work because when the Geist comes back, it's a totally separate entity, so it doesn't...
And you do not get the Rancor back. Because it died on the stack.
Brandon needs to write bigger. I can't see it. It's fine.
I feel like he's out of gas.
I mean, he just has... I don't even think he has anything in his yard either, because he's already flashed back both of his rights, hasn't he?
He's not running green, though, so he's not running mulch and all that good. He's Trapper's Instincts.
That's okay. Technically, it's not rights then, I guess. Naming humans, probably.
If he does hit the Unburial Rights and gets that Norn out, what kind of outs does Hunter have at that point? I mean, he's
going to
get at least one O-ring.
He's going to go get a Thrag test now. Thrag test doesn't die to it.
Yes.
What's he getting for 5 then?
Slime?
Wolf Fear
probably.
Oh, that's very good right now.
He's got swords, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He can't green sun for a sword.
No, but I mean, like, to punch through the norm.
Oh, yeah. He's not playing the... Is he playing the white sword?
Yeah.
Okay. So he gets in for 7 there, right? Drops Brandon to 11?
Yeah, even if Norm does come out now, I'm pretty sure he's got the game.
He could rip a day of judgment there and be right back in this.
He could play... All right. I think he conceded, right?
Ah.
Otherwise, Hunter is doing something very illegal. Just shuffling. Just...
Well, you know Hunter Sumpter.
Wolfir Silverheart should not be a Magic card.
That's such a good card, though.
8/8?
You ever bonded to him together?
That should be... That's un-American. You can't do that.
That's 12/12s all day back in Mother Russia.
Alright.
Well, that was a slightly interesting game.
I've got a room full of people, and we're done with not 1 but 2 rounds. What did I just take off there?
We're with 2 games of round 1, or 2 matches of round 1. We still have 2 more riveting rounds, 3 more riveting rounds.
Of each round.
I'm not even charging extra for that. But you know what I am going to do?
That's a happy ending.
You know what we are going to do now? Check this out. Return of Ravnica comes out when? The 6th?
I know the pre-release is the last weekend of
this month. About a month away, a calendar month away. Already we're deep into spoiler season. Let's talk about some of the cards that have been spoiled.
I love that.
So, anytime a Magic set is released, all that anyone cares about is whether or not there's a Jace in it. And then they immediately assume that that's the best card in the set.
For a couple of years now.
It pre-sells for $1 million, even if all it does is cost 5 and mill 10. This, however, and I will admit to being someone who does not get all excited about Planeswalkers too often.
Right.
But this card looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. For those who are not familiar with the card, you can just read the text there. I think that's pretty visible. But basically, it's +1. First of all, he's 4 mana. He starts at 4. He has a +1. So if you can compare him to the old Jace, which every Planeswalker is compared to Jace the Mind Sculptor, he's not that card because that card shouldn't have existed. But he goes straight to 5, which I think is pretty crucial. It's tough to. I mean, it's much easier to deal with it's much harder to deal with a Planeswalker that goes straight to 5.
And it defends itself.
It basically goes to 6, because it takes away at least 1. And I think it's interesting too because you look at Tamiyo. The way Tamiyo defends itself is to basically lock down the one big creature with this Frost Titan effect.
Correct.
Or detain, I guess it is now. Is that the keyword?
Yeah.
Is that the keyword that detain? But Jace basically is attacking the swarm decks. He gets his money's worth out of knocking the power down with several creatures. Then his -2 has been referred to infinitely on the internet as the mini Factor Fiction, which is basically Factor Fiction with 3 cards, right?
I like it.
I don't think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't like it. I don't think that's debatable, but I think it's pretty solid. I mean, you cast him, you go straight to. I mean, you cast him.
This is your new Ponder.
What it is, worst case scenario, you look at this card. It's a 4 mana. Divination that gains you probably 3 life. If there was a card that costs 4 mana, drew you 2 cards, and gains you 4 life, would you play that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst case scenario, and that's borderline playable.
It's true.
So I'm sure it's pretty playable. And I mean, you pair that with some of the other cards we'll talk about later. I mean, Day of Judgment, then this guy is going to be very hard to come back with. I mean, Lingering Souls of the Swarm type decks is going to be a very hard time dealing with that.
Day rotates. Days rotate.
Yeah, but they have that new
Supreme Judgment.
Yeah, and you have
Planar Cleansing.
Well, yeah, also Terminus. There's always going to be. I don't think they'll ever get a point where there's a non-wrath effect in Magic. But and then his ultimate, which I'm going. Oh, his ultimate. Okay, let's talk about his ultimate. I remember distinctly. I wasn't playing at the time, but I remember going back and watching some of Evan Irwin's Magic Show interviews. They were at a big GP. Zendikar had just been spoiled. They were talking to all these pros. I mean, just old Pat Chapin was the only one who had anything good to say about Jace. All the other guys were like, it's kind of okay. And the question they ask everybody is, do you think we'll ever see Jace's ultimate ability, Jace the Mind Sculptor's ultimate ability win? And it was laughing, oh, maybe once or twice I might see something like that. And that literally became standard for 18 months. It was just fake sealing people out of the game. So I'm hesitant to say whether or not this ultimate is bad. I don't think it's very good. I think it's much better in EDH.
What is the
I think it was definitely.
Is that where you look at everybody's deck?
You look in every opponent's deck, pick a card, and you can play it for free.
Including yourself?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, each player. So you get your best creature, or whatever board control card you want.
Right.
And then you get everybody else's best card too.
That seems pretty good.
It
It's something to
does
work
seem
for.
it does seem like it was designed with Commander in mind, but can you imagine actually resolving that in like a 6-player game of Commander? You got to look through everybody's 100-card.
Well, that's like the favorite. Everybody plays all those cards like.
Yeah, the staples. Like,
Yeah.
All those cards like Rexiel, like what's that? Ken Nagel. He said he made that card like that's a card he just invented because he wanted to play with it in EDH. Like you just casting stuff out of people's decks and graveyards is fun. That's a pretty common theme.
just take everybody's bites.
I'm a big fan of what's that card? Praetor's Grasp.
Yes.
Every black black deck should be playing it. But all right, so Jace is pretty good. And also, like, even if you get, how many times do you ultimate a Planeswalker in a game of Magic anyway?
Not very often.
If you're just drawing 2 cards every turn, it seems like a pretty good way to go.
Now moving forward with every black deck should have Praetor's Grasp. Lantern wants every deck play Praetor's Grasp.
Every
Depending
non-EDH deck. EDH deck can't have the right color identity.
I'm talking about standard, or now would be modern once it rotates in.
Yeah, this let's talk about this too. This Lantern card, actually, of all the cards I've seen spoiled, I think this is. And again, I don't know anything.
It's exciting.
I think that's the best card I've seen.
It's going to be fantastic.
That card just makes 5-color control just. I mean,
Who needs dual lands?
The dual lands themselves make basically any deck you want to build pretty good and pretty viable. But this card right here, it ramps your mana and it fixes your mana in the best way possible. You can cast this card with 3 swamps. And then the next turn play the Adjustment. Or the next turn play that the Wrath that costs 2 white and a blue. That's literally what you can do.
If it just says all lands make any color,
Good.
it would be playable. Now it also makes you mana.
It ramps.
If it didn't ramp, I wouldn't be so impressed by it. But since it also has an active, effect that happen, you can take advantage of.
Yeah, that takes it from like a 5
like
to
it doesn't hurt
It's
you to
almost-
draw multiples of it.
That's a good point. It's almost playable if it just said all your lands. I mean, how many enchantments are there that say that, like that are played in EDH? Like, I know Overlay Terrain makes you sack all your lands, but it's the same kind of thing. All your lands tap for double or tap for different mana. But that card is, I mean, there's going to be 5-color control decks, and that card is going to be in all of them.
Yep.
That card is pretty ridiculous. And then, last card we'll talk about right now. I don't think this card's going to dominate standard at all, but I'm pretty excited about this.
It's really
thing.
good.
I think it's pretty cool thematically too. Joseph, was it you telling me this, or was it Jordan? This is the last remaining. What's this? No, the Stone Sisters.
It's the Gorgons.
Yeah,
Aren't
it's
but
the
what's-
last one, I think.
Yeah, but you know that card, whatever, the Stone Sisters
Yeah.
or whatever. That's like the only surviving one in the. I'm not
Oh,
very.
Sisters of Stone Death.
Yes,
The first
I'm not
round of that.
familiar at all with the Magic novels, and quite frankly, I probably will never be familiar with them.
I read them.
That's
I'll admit it.
hey, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just
Artist
not my cup of
costs
tea.
all the way. There's a
This is
drink.
pretty cool. I think the art's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then it's just a pretty interesting Planeswalker. Again, it costs 5, but it comes in at 5 loyalty. One other Planeswalker started at 5. Doesn't one of the Sarkans start at 5? I mean, Karn starts at $1 billion, but Karn also costs 7. And
Jade, the core set Jace is a 5. What does he start with?
he starts at 4, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Or
We're
even
talking about-
3.
we're talking about 5 drops that start with 5.
No, I'm talking about Planeswalkers, period, that start with 5 loyalty. Do you know how hard it is? Let's imagine from, Joseph, if he doesn't have an overwhelming board state with this Goblin stack that we just saw, if this comes down and goes straight to 6, do you know how, hard it is to get rid of that if you don't have, a burn spell? Or, God forbid, you're playing just, a White Weenie deck or something like that where you don't have the reach to just dome it immediately. It's so hard to attack into this. Plus,
She's mercy
it's
gonna
plus
come
1
in.
is no mercy.
Yeah, I mean, +1 really makes you
You've
have
got-
to think about whether or not you want to attack it, because you're going to be losing.
It's
some
plus
dudes.
1. Again, looking worst case scenario, this card costs 5. It says, gain 6 life, destroy 3 creatures, or destroy 2 creatures, or destroy a creature.
Yeah, you're going to have to, on average, send more than one dude at it in order to get all 6 loyalty counters off.
If you're not playing some kind of O-ring effect or something that will burn it out, this card is going to be a nightmare.
I think the majority of the time it's just going to come down and just blow up permanent.
But how often?
Oh
do you
yes,
think
because
that-
it's -3, which I was completely ignoring. is basically Vindicate, except for what is that spell? We were thinking about this the other day. What is this spell?
It's Maelstrom Pulse.
Without the
copy. Yeah. Is there another? Oh, I guess not every ability is an exact card, but a lot of them are.
Pulse is
Because
Vindicate.
+1 is no mercy.
Vindicate's a permanent, isn't it?
Vindicate's
Vindicate hits
anything.
lands.
Maelstrom
Maelstrom Pulse
Pulse.
doesn't hit lands.
No. Yeah, that's what it is. So it's
So my
Maelstrom
2
Pulse.
favorite cards are Maelstrom Pulse and Pernicious Deed.
So what if it said 5? You pay 5 mana, gain 2 life, Maelstrom Pulse, just 1 thing. Beast Within with no drawback. That's almost playable.
Yeah, at 5 it's
All of these cards are
but
almost
it's
playable, and these
versatile
are the
enough that-
worst case scenarios. If you cast this up it to 1 and they can't kill it immediately, like, don't you just win the game? And I think it's interesting that it's in these colors, because all the other Golgari cards that we've seen have been super aggressive. But I don't think, like we were talking about with the Lantern, you're just gonna put it in whatever deck you want. Who cares? You've got all the
gonna
lands
ramp
you
her up,
need.
and then you're gonna beat somebody.
And
to
then
death with
let's talk
assassins.
about the Ultimate. I think the Ultimate is one of the cooler thematics that I've seen. I think it's just cool that it makes these
flavor.
3 1/1 black assassin creatures that when they basically little phages.
Yes.
When isn't that
they are.
Phage's ability?
Yep.
If it does damage, combat damage, right? It's combat, right?
Yep.
I also wonder if those tokens are going to be like the Wormcoil tokens.
Will it be very
It's up to
expensive?
$1
I can hear you too, because the reason the Wormcoil token was expensive is because you had to get, they're mythic, and you had to get 2 of them.
Yeah, this one.
And this you're going to have to get 3 of them. So imagine, there's your hot financial tip of the day at your pre-release.
Assassin tokens.
Assassin tokens for the win. That's like, well, Wormcoil tokens were $4 or $5 at their heyday.
They still are good.
Yes, yeah, 2, 3 more like now.
Well, they're always going to be in demand because Wormcoil's a staple.
Wormcoil is a very good Magic card. It's good in Modern.
Yeah.
It's good in everything. Well, we've got some more Ravnica spoilers we'll go over later on in the night. We're not too far away from the round being over, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with round 2. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll get it 2 matches, bonus match as well.
I hope so.
Maybe. I can't make any promises, but we'll be back.
Pure value.
We'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes.
Just pull a chair up.
Alright.
What are you on a folder?
We're on a hot mic here. I should mention that. I forgot initially to mention who is talking on this camera right now. My name is Zachary Evans. I was here last week. I will be here every week. You can contact me at Zach Sells Magic on Twitter.
And on Craigslist if you're holding.
If oh, that's bad news. We don't want the 5-0 to hear that on the stream because you know they're that the.
I'm just here to mess it up. I'm sorry. I popped in for like 5 minutes last week.
Do you know Joseph's last name? That's Joseph Messer, right? Well, I know there's a Joseph Deal, and there's a Joseph Lewis, and there's a Joseph Messer.
Has to be Messer.
Has to be Joseph Messer. We're back with round 2. These are two 1-0 competitors.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, I forgot. Michael Taylor. Michael Taylor is here.
I'll provide tertiary commentary.
Tertiary.
I'm just here to observe.
You were also here last week.
Yes.
But I think mostly quiet. But I do think you did make some comments as well. It's hard. See, I told people before. All right, fine. I'm going to do it. I think Cliff is playing Naya, but I'm not sure. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to switch to the live cam. Oh, nope.
Whoa.
All right, so here we are. So you can see the room that we're sitting in, and there's a door right here off camera that you can't see, and then that is locked. But this door right here is open to the public. The restroom is back there, so it's basically an endless stream of people who just wander in here. So it's hard to keep track of